waiting for
Yeah,
Colleen.
well, and I have to.
Colleen's the
I have-
only one that's working.
Patience.
Jesus.
I got plenty of patience. I didn't wanna say start the meeting, I said, let's wait till Colleen.
We're live, but not recording once again.
I already heard recording in
We're recording
progress.
here on
Oh.
Zoom,
Oh.
right, so. Still not working? It's not recording. So I will-
That's good.
talk with Shane.
Again, the Board of Selectmen is holding these budget workshops to discuss budgets with our department heads. While these meetings are open to the public, they are workshop meetings and not intended to solicit public comment. The board may, at their discretion, accept some public comment, but they are not required to do so. The public may make public comments on the budget at the public hearing, which will be held in January, after the Board of Selectmen and the Budget Committee have reviewed the budgets. Our first order of business tonight is,
We're gonna do the flag.
I'm sorry, non-patriotic. If we could rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pardon me, everyone.
Including Texas,
Do what?
including Texas,
Really?
yeah.
Okay, Highway Department. Good evening, guys.
I'd like to just start off by, I'll introduce myself. I'm Craig Belmont, I'm the director. This is Brian Jackson, the assistant director. If anybody doesn't know us. So what we'd like to do is I'd like to start out with the highway department budget. I'm gonna have Brian follow up with the water and sewer because he's really hands
More.
on that.
All right, would you like to give us an overview first?
Sure, I'd just like to read you a little something that I have. So, each year we are given the task by you as a board to present a fiscally responsible budget which will meet the needs of the town and the residents. Every year we only ask for enough funding to continue providing the services that not only the residents expect, but services that our department expects to provide. Though our workload is increasing every year, we are not asking for any additional employees. Our department is currently operating with roughly the same number of full-time employees as we have for many, many years. Our goal is to still and always be to continue to do the best possible job with the funding that you provide for us. Some of our accomplishments this year may not stand out as in years past. There were no road construction projects that took place. This was due to the Highway Reconstruction Capital Reserve request article failing last March. The Middle Route project because of that, the Middle Route project had to be canceled. If this article continues to fail, it's my opinion, each spring, it's my opinion that such projects as this will continue to be put, if this article continues to fail each spring, such projects as this will continue to be pushed aside. Our department continues to be fully staffed with people of integrity and positive attitudes. This is something we should all be very proud of. Finally, I'd like to thank each member here tonight. I know that doing what you do is not easy, and I get to see this from many angles, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will open our budget sheet with 014311-101 through 014311-505.
I'll take any questions.
I'll make a motion to accept Articles 014311-101 through 104311-505 as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions from other board members?
Just give me 1 second.
Want me to read the numbers back?
No,
I'm
it's
fine.
just, no, she's good.
Okay, I'm all good.
Okay. Do I have I did have a second.
Yes, Sunny.
Here we go again. Sunny seconded it, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes. We'll move on to highways and streets. We will start with 014312-102 to 014312-505. Right at the bottom.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
We're going crazy.
Oh, we're going crazy.
I've given pretty good descriptions of what, each line item pay what we pay with each line item. Like, happy to entertain any questions, or just,
Don't forget you have all the account detail descriptions too in behind your
Yep.
descriptions.
Yep.
I will say, the bottom line has changed, we did get our health and insurance rates, so I was able to at least plug in what the rate is, although the employees do not start electing their plans
right.
until, I'm gonna try to get it out this week, and they have until, I think, mid-November to elect those, change their plans, so although the rates
Have increased.
the rates have increased, the rates are plugged in based on everyone's, plans as of today, so I do kinda have a new bottom line for you.
And roughly for the whole town, we're looking at as much as $200,000.
Correct.
Okay.
Overall for an increase in the health insurance rates.
That's health, dental,
Health, dental, life, and short-term disability.
okay. All right.
you basically, I mean, throughout this, the real significant increase here is with my part-time labor, which I tried to increase last year.
Yep.
We're very fortunate that we have, full-time staff, but we're still, even though we're not adding employees, we're still cramped,
This is our,
This line item hires, our part-time guy in the summer to do
lawn,
the mowing on the
Yep.
sides of the road, helps us
Yep.
out doing that. He also comes in and does the sidewalks for us, and he's on an on-call basis. This allows us to have a full-time temporary guy for December, January, February, the winter months to help us out.
Mhm.
We're down one guy, because basically when it snows, we're all hands on deck, we don't have, if someone's sick or, COVID kind of taught us a lesson that if someone is sick, we really need to have somebody kind
that you can call.
that we could call.
Yeah.
And this also funds, a part-time helper that helps the mechanic, 22 hours a week. And like I said, that's a huge benefit to having someone there with him, because a lot of the stuff he works on, he has to work on by himself.
Heavy equipment,
I'm
you
not
shouldn't be alone.
I'm not comfortable with him
Yeah.
working on a lot of stuff.
Just a quick question. So with the going down to the 50,000 with the default,
Yeah.
what were you not able to? Who were you not able
But I
to
was
hire?
not,
Yeah,
I was not able, so we basically, we had to man the sidewalk tractor a lot this summer, instead of calling him in. But next summer, what I'd like to do is our machine, every few years, we're gonna have to, get a rental machine, because our machine's so small, and it just takes it's so slow. So I'm gonna have to, for 3 weeks out of the year, that's why my equipment hire line has gone up. And, we're gonna have to rent a machine for a few weeks out of the year, so it's gonna be about $15,000 to do that, but I'm gonna need a guy to run that.
makes sense.
Oh, so you rent the equipment, but we provide the,
We're gonna provide, we did it a
the
couple
operator.
years ago, but, I mean, we rented it for a week and tried it out, so we used to get our machines from Owens Leasing, and we would rent them for a month, and
Yep.
they were old machines, and, we would fix them, and we would fuel them and do stuff like that, but they're out of business now, and that ship has sailed. So basically, we tried hiring a couple guys that do mowing for the state, and they did a great, wonderful job this year. But it's expensive. It's not really,
Those are the two guys that were kind of running aside, one in front of the other, I think.
They did half the town for what I feel we could probably do the whole. But, you have to experiment, you don't know until you try. So, we picked up the slack and used ours, but that's just it's not feasible for the future, so.
So what you're saying is that by adding this money in now I can't even find the line.
140.
Yeah, by adding that money in, but we're saving in another area where we would have been paying these
Oh, yeah.
guys that we
Yeah.
had.
Part-time labor, well, at least you just mentioned the fact that the health insurance, when you can hire part-time guys that are willing to come in on a minute's notice, and you're just saving, vacation time, you're saving sick time, you're saving benefits, you're saving everything, it's just a cost-effective way of doing business, if you can do it, if you can find people.
I was gonna say if you can find them,
And we've got guys that are willing to come in,
Yeah.
it's just,
awesome,
you know,
okay. I assume the winter guy is probably somebody that works construction in the summer, is probably,
he's
Laid
a
off.
paving guy, he's retired, and I asked him this summer if he would, still wanna be interested in coming in the winter,
yeah,
and he was all about it, and he's like, I really don't care if I run that, if I really don't do the mowing, he says, but he said, I really like coming in and doing sidewalks. So-
I couldn't sit in that little thing.
No, it's fun for the first 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it gets crazy after a little bit.
I'm, yeah,
No, he's great.
talk about getting claustrophobic, yep, all right.
If there's nothing else, I'll make the motion to accept that section of 014312 through 014312 505.
I'll second it.
Hold on, you guys are moving even too fast for me.
Oh,
I have just two things to
Oh.
note. Craig, do you have anyone else who's gonna do a vacation buyback, because so far we spent 5,800 and we're only proposing to budget 6,000, which would cut us close, if not.
Not that I know of, I kinda threw it out there, and, I think we're right on.
Everybody has done the buyback that wants to.
That wants to,
at this
sure.
point.
I think maybe we should still increase that to like 7, just because with wage increases.
What line is that, please?
So line,
ending in 176,
Okay,
176.
yep, all right.
my updated version of what has been said so far was 5,812, and we're only budgeting 6, so I think by next year when we do some, with
Steps,
the steps and the wage increases.
and the union,
I think you
right.
might be either over the 6, so I would say maybe 7, increase that line, 176 to 7,000. You guys are.
well, obviously, it's
Okay,
better.
I'll make a motion to amend the first motion to, change that line on, which is 014312-176, the vacation buyback from 6 to 7,000, with the advice of our town administrator.
I agree to it.
And then I just wanna note, you'll see that on line, 440, there was a reduction, and that's because we paid off the,
Yep.
was it the loader, Craig, or which, must have been a smaller machine, 'cause it's only a $9,000.
I think it was.
I thought it was a backhoe that was gonna be paid off this year.
Okay, so
I think that's a backhoe.
deduction there,
Yep.
so
Yeah,
there's
the lease purchase has worked out really well, so, and actually that line is down this year, and I only have 2 vehicles left on that line, because we got the grant.
Oh, that's for the dump truck, that's
You
right.
get the dump, yeah,
So
the
that
2021
saved
dump
us
truck.
$200,000.
Have we got that truck yet?
No.
No. Just, okay,
I just
Yeah.
talked to him
Yeah.
did you?
yesterday or the day
All right.
before.
So we don't have the truck yet.
Well, we have the truck,
It's not outfitted yet.
It's been sitting down at Fairfield since.
Yeah, and I accepted the amendment.
Yeah.
I accepted the amendment to my motion.
Yes, he accepted the change in the amendment.
Okay, so then we still need a second.
Yeah.
Second on that.
Oh, I thought we,
need a second on, so Travis made the motion to do through 505.
Yeah.
And then John amended that to
All
change
right.
176 from 6,000 to 7,000.
so we don't have a
And then
second. Oh.
Travis seconded the amendment, but now we're back to.
Second it, John.
Needing a second on. the-
Second it.
Second.
But
I second it.
you were making a comment and you got cut off and I was interested in what you were gonna say, cause you said it's important to remember, and then you never finished that thought, and so I was wondering what that thought was.
I don't remember what we talked about when I made the comment, when I,
Okay.
I don't know, sorry.
Okay.
So we,
in regards to the vacation buyback.
no, I don't think so.
No, it was whatever we were she was going to say something and then John made the motion to amend the number. I don't know.
Some memory in that there.
Okay, well, it must have been a lie, no, I
Not important.
I don't remember, I'm sorry. So now we need a second on the whole
John did
motion.
it. John
I
did it.
did it.
Through through the line 505.
John did
Okay,
that.
John seconded it.
Including the amendment.
Yeah.
Yep, John seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposition? Hearing none, that section passes.
Page 2.
We'll move on to 014312-707 to 014312-999. can you decrease coal patch when that stuff is all increased, doesn't it?
Well,
But you're just not using so much coal patch? Or the roads are in, the roads are in,
We're fixing roads, so we're using less coal patch. Once we don't get.
then that is gonna
in a
go
few
up.
years, if we
Okay.
don't
Got
get the plan, we're gonna start using a lot more.
Okay.
I'd like to back this whole conversation up to square one.
Sure.
18 years ago, I got to sit in this chair. And we were besieged by the community, and we hired a man out of Concord, named Mr. Pernar Engineering, and he said, folks, you gotta pay attention, you're an east-west town, and they're all your roads. They're not 140's not your road, but all the side streets are. So you've gotta consider putting some money in. So back then, we were putting $1 million. We started, put $1 million a year in repairing these roads, because they're our roads. Now, a couple of years ago, we pulled that back to $750. Where are we now? I don't see that.
Well,
No, that'll
it
be
started-
under a
it started out,
separate.
and I don't wanna.
Okay,
I don't wanna-
if I'm getting ahead of myself,
Okay,
then
well,
bring it up later.
Well, I don't wanna correct you, but I'm going to, so it started out as, it was $1 million, but that was the contribution between the $750,000 that they would put through an article for highway reconstruction capital and the block grant. So that they figured that would be a combination of $1 million. So
Yep,
we've been-
that's right.
So we're still getting our block grant money, which is a little bit under $200,000 every year.
It's been decreasing.
It has been.
Mhm.
It has been. So, I mean, I remember one year it was up to $220,000. I think last year it was 186 or something like that. So basically, 3 years ago, we were still doing the $750,000 for about 15 years. And then we went down to $500,000, and then last year it didn't pass. So it's for the last couple of years, instead of getting 1.5 million to fix the road, we've gotten 500,000.
Now what's
So-
happening is we have a road that
Yeah.
these guys got one complaint after another all summer long because we weren't out there repairing that road, but the people didn't go and vote.
Yeah, well,
you know.
like I said, our plan was to do Middle Road, like in my statement, but, in my initial statement, but the problem is we do have a reserve. But the problem is every dime that we have in our reserve right now, that's what it would take to do that road.
Yeah,
So
then it would leave us.
reconstruct that road, so basically we took our block grant money this year and we fixed Newtile Road and we fixed a couple other roads, so.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we have to pull from that reserve this year to buy a bunch of stuff? No, I thought we did for the salt and stuff. Okay,
No, that's block grant.
blocking, okay.
So we have a capital reserve account for for highway reconstruction.
Yeah,
That's in a
So-
separate,
And then we have a 2024 and 25 block grant fund. So we pulled some money out of block grant to do Town, and these are funds, block grant is funds from the state. So we were able to use those funds, we finished Town Road, we did a couple other small projects, we bought some sand and we bought some salt.
which don't we
Right,
usually
these
use
are
that for,
budget.
don't we usually use that for just roads though, the block grant?
We have.
Usually,
So, and that was kind of our goal, and that's always kind of been our goal, was to take the block grant money and just use it for roads. Now, a lot of communities, you'll see fancy new trucks and this, their roads are in horrible condition, but they use the money. You can use block grant money for salt, you can use it for sand, you can use it for plow trucks and equipment, anything that will plow snow. So basically, we've never done that. I mean, unfortunately, the times dictate how you need to divvy up your money.
And I think
So-
because we did the default, we chose to use more of the block grant to supplement more of those items that we haven't done in the past. as
Exactly.
far as
yeah, I was trying to make a point that we had to,
Winter.
what we usually use for roads, we unfortunately had to use to fill the
Yeah.
budget because of the
Exactly,
default.
exactly.
It's a path that I don't wanna keep,
Yeah,
I don't wanna keep
it's a
following.
bad path.
It's a bad path. Like I said, the $750,000 that we've been putting in for 15 years that doesn't do what it did 15 years ago.
right.
So we had a really good jump on it. We did Horn Road, we did Cotton Hill, we did Bean Hill. I mean, these were all total reconstructions, Glad Hill.
In front of the high school, the mess in front of the high school, the
Yeah,
drainage
we
mess.
fixed CB Road. I mean, we fixed the drainage on CB Road, we fixed CB Road. I mean, we've done a lot of work, but the problem is too, if we start defunding, so these roads that we've rebuilt are actually they're due for some maintenance, they're due for a maintenance go. You know, Horn Road, you know, that was rebuilt, but that was rebuilt 16 years ago. So our engineers recommend, because it only had 3 inches of asphalt, that every 12 years, that it gets an overlay. So the problem is if you don't keep doing this and you don't keep upgrading with the program, it's gonna end up costing you more, because you're gonna have to rebuild that road again.
Well, and
Put that much more
obviously it costs us more because our equipment, being our
Oh, yeah.
police, our
Everybody.
fire, our highway department, going over these roads that are, falling apart.
It
Even
takes
public
more- it
equipment
takes more
strapping
material,
on it
it takes
and
more
getting hammered
salt.
out.
Well, a man pronounced this 20 years ago. We hired this guy Pernon, the guy was like a saint. He prescribed what we're going through. We're the best east-west highway,
What's the matter, Sharon? You okay?
right
You
between,
need to take a break?
No, I'm fine, I'm just listening.
Okay.
between Route 3, we got 140.
Yeah.
But other than that, these people live in Guilford know how to get through Belmont. I mean, my daughter and I own a furniture store over in Winnisquam. They come down off that hill by Rusty's, cut in that thing, and they're on Union Road, like we the people, cutting through there. I mean, that gets as much traffic on Friday night,
Yeah.
and they get to Lacone, get over to 106, get on the bypass to go to Guilford.
Kinda cross Union right there, the Horn, take that back road all the way to Laconia if you want.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, one Sunday afternoon, I don't know, I was in Laconia for something, and I come down 106. I took a side road. I said, I'm not gonna sit here. I took a side road and went through town the back way
That's what
because
everybody's
it was
doing.
back.
Everybody's
yeah.
getting on their GPS.
And as we improve them,
They're finding a shortcut.
they become busier. As we improve them, make them in front of my
Sharon
house.
lives on Jamestown Road, she can attest to that. Look at the traffic on that road on the way down.
It's bad.
It's crazy.
South Road is the road of many tire tracks.
Well,
That's my way to
We
Northfield
have the
Tillman,
added
South
problem
Road.
where Rusty's Towing is at the end of the road on Brook Road. And so anytime they get a call, they come that way. And there's been
They
a
haven't
lot
been
of the,
lately. I made a phone call, they're not supposed to go that way. It's no through trucks, doesn't matter,
You
doesn't
know,
matter if it's who it is. It's
well,
just
I was told they
They're not
have
supposed
special
to. They don't have
consideration, but,
permission.
and and there's some construction projects, so that a lot of the bigger trucks are going, but anytime you have an accident in that
They
vicinity,
divert.
they divert it
Yeah.
right to Drew, and it's like, oh my lord.
Well, this is a case that when we get to the highway, that's
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
So anyway, I'm not gonna be here
Yeah.
tomorrow, Brian's gonna take my place.
Yeah.
I'm recommending we try to get the 750 back.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't, we're just not on a good path. I know it's,
It's,
we'll be playing catch up.
And the unfortunate-
It's just gonna cost us, it's gonna cost your kids money, that's all.
Yeah,
It's
but
gonna cost everybody.
you can't go into the capital reserve to take money out for regular road repair. You need to have that in case of natural disaster.
Well,
And as we've seen,
yeah,
it's been a long time since, and you don't wanna ditch that.
well, that's why, so that 750, that's kinda like my goal, is what I'd like to try to keep in that account. For that, you know what I'm saying? That's like the minimum that I'd actually ever want that account to get down to. And you really can't start rebuilding roads for what we have in that account.
And I just have an informational question, just cause I wanna know the answer. What do you guys use for dust control? Cause I see, you got 4,000 for
Calcium chloride,
calcium chloride, okay. Just wanna make sure. I
oh,
know
that's
that
for the
was-
dirt roads.
Yeah.
and some years we use it, and some years we don't.
I used to live on a dirt road in Alton, and they used to come every 3 months or so and put oil down.
Oh, that's old time.
It's been a while since
can't
I
do
lived
that
there,
anymore.
Oh, yes.
I was wondering
I got
what
a
you
couple
were
guys that like to
using
oil your driveway.
Yeah, really.
Let's put oil on the roads. Let's just, come on now.
I remember when
It
they
was
used to.
dirt though.
Okay,
Quick question too.
Yep.
What's your goal with the equipment hire line? I know that's the equipment rental, so I just saw it go up a little bit. I know we touched a little bit on it.
It is the equipment, that's my goal is what I wanna, so it's $5,000 a week to rent the tractor to do the roadside mowing. We worked really hard on, doing a lot of mowing doing a lot of brush clearing by hand for years, and, we've got it now, so, we can rent this machine and we can keep everything back and keep it trimmed up, so that's my goal.
How much are one of those machines to purchase?
$5,000 a week
To purchase,
to purchase,
just wondering.
over 100.
and then it breaks.
Yeah, I know, oh, trust me.
They only wear one way, that's not a good, that's
I
not.
mean, you're right, in 5 or 6 years you could own it, but you're gonna own it.
Yeah, I know, I know.
You know, you're gonna.
Cause
there's
it's a lot of
maintenance.
abuse.
Plus, it's
Yeah,
not
we do.
really good for anything else.
No.
That's the other thing.
Exactly.
It doesn't have a multi-use.
And we don't have a big enough area to have to purchase one, and, cause we're not gonna rent it for more than 3-4 weeks at most.
Yeah, yeah.
I will
So
say-
what I'd like to do is I'd like to plan for 3, probably rent it for 2, and have the guys, so when we rent it, it doesn't stop. When somebody wants a break, somebody else gets in it.
Oh, so
somebody
you,
else
so you
wants
plan
lunch,
around
somebody else-
vacation time or whatever,
No,
so
you
that
just
you've got,
You keep somebody in it, you just keep it running.
keep it going.
You just keep it going.
Yeah,
Crack the whip.
they do hit a lot of rocks with those,
Yeah.
The hairpins are made to break.
yeah,
Sometimes
That's what I tell my boss, hairpins are made to break.
yeah, sheer pin queen. Any other questions on this section? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion to accept 014312707 through 014312999.
I will second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. So I propose that we move this, as presented, thank you.
Discuss presented, whichever.
If
Let's,
you want, I can read you what the new bottom total is.
For 2025. And this doesn't, no, just
It will still.
change
fluctuate
because of the
with
health insurance,
how-
depending.
If the employees elect to change their
Yep.
plans up or down,
All
or
right.
east or west, whatever they decide. So the new bottom proposed with future changes to health insurance is $1,348,054.
Street lighting and HBG,
highway block grant.
that's what I thought you were gonna say. Is that the next one? What number is that one?
It's inside 15.
It's a few more pages behind 15, so go past his
Go,
detail.
no, go through your description.
Oh, it's in here.
Yeah, it's after
Got
your
it.
description. Keep going, go.
Got it,
15.5.
Yeah.
got it. 15.5. Street lighting.
Shut them off.
2 more, 1 more, and it'll be there. Right.
One more. Bingo. You got it.
Shut them off. Downtown, they don't need any lights.
We'll start with 014316222, which is a single line. And this must have gone down due to the,
Loan payment, so we paid off the loan to Franklin Savings Bank in the amount of $6,669.
yeah,
So that decreases the, amount that we are expecting, and then I basically just did what we're averaging our electric bill now, which is about 1,180, and these are for all the streetlights that we have.
mhm.
And then we just did the average for the year, on that, and I think, did you do the, estimate on the street lighting, or did you just do the estimate on the, no, you did the electric. This has been pretty consistent, and with the LEDs, so.
Mhm.
Here.
Okay.
Go
Does someone-
there.
Does someone wanna make a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion to accept line 14316-220, streetlights,
As presented.
as presented.
Do I
Second.
have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposition? Hearing none, we'll move on to the highway block grant, 014319001. Now, this is what we received from the state.
This is, and I did plug in 24's number because I don't have the state's yet, so that one will change, that one will be one that we see come back hopefully next week.
All right, so we don't need to really
You
do
don't
it.
really need to accept it, I mean, it's revenue that the state's gonna give you anyway, you wouldn't really say no to taking it,
No.
and it goes into our anticipated revenue to offset the tax rate.
Okay, all right. But we don't really know what that final number is yet. All right? Okay, so we won't do anything with that one. On to water.
That's 16.
That's 16.
Oh, boy.
You wanna give us a, role here. Water's water.
He wasn't planning, but
Oh, you weren't planning? Okay,
Eloquent,
water's water.
overview, like Craig did, but
Well, if you're gonna present this, Mr. Director of the Water Department, a white shirt, a tie,
I can try harder next time. I
Okay.
can do that.
All right,
But I will say that, I mean, this is a user-funded, portion of our budget. We try to keep it as lean as possible. We do subcontract with Penachuk. We don't have any full-time sole employees for the water department. Craig and I kind of fill in all the holes that we can, and any emergencies we handle as needed, with the tools that we have. We use contractors when we need to kind of chuck things up.
Okay.
A lot of our day-to-day operations.
awesome.
Have any major breaks this year?
We don't talk about those things.
I was just saying that today, we shouldn't talk about it.
No, we don't wanna
We
talk
still have
about
3
that.
holidays left.
But yes,
Yeah, it only happens on a holiday.
We made it past Labor Day, and that seems to be the bad one, so,
I didn't sleep all Labor Day weekend. It seems like every Labor Day weekend.
no, it's good. But yeah,
All right.
we kept it as lean as we could. There's very few increases that aren't TDS mandated.
Of course. Unfortunately, a lot of this budget is the water testing and and stuff that we have no control over because we're governed by higher up, right? Okay. All right, 024331-101 to 024331-875. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this? I assume that our water rates are, comparable to handling this budget, correct?
I would have to do the test to see, our rates compared to the budget once you guys approve it, to see if we would have to increase or decrease, whichever, decrease, but increase rates.
Okay.
I mean, our only two big increases, electricity and service contracts, which we really have no control
No
over.
control over anyways, all right. Do we have a capital reserve for water?
Yes.
Yeah, we do, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And we will be, we're still trying to keep the same amount to fund that, because, I mean,
One of these days, we're gonna get the phone call.
well, I mean, there are certain things, if we wanna start doing infrastructure improvements, we've got the new well, which is huge, that's adding to our supply. The one thing we did increase, was for tank and well maintenance, because we have well 3, which is very old, but, we haven't, we fixed the pump last year, because we had a pump problem, but we really couldn't take it offline to clean it and redevelop it like we should, because we didn't have, now we'll have new water supply, we'll be able to do that, so
Okay.
we're budgeting so we can do that.
So Craig, that's the one I have the question mark on, whether you wanted them to
That's right.
raise it in that 25,000 in the budget or put it into a capital reserve. So right now I only have it in as the 3,500 with the question mark of the 25 barring discussion of the.
So we got a cost estimate to redevelop well 3, and once we get well 1 back online, so redeveloping it is cleaning it, they come in, they pull the pump.
Yep.
They take the pump back to the shop, they redevelop, they redo the pump, and then they redevelop the well, they put cleaners in it, and they flush it and clean it and do tests on it and stuff like that, so once well 1 is done and going, we'd like to do well 3, so we.
And we're not gonna run into the screening problem with that.
Get on a rotating schedule to minimize the iron manganese as much as we can.
My thoughts on what Alicia just proposed is to put it in a warrant article, leave it up to the voters, because if we try to put it in the budget, it's gonna make our budget look inflated.
they won't pass it. They're gonna have a problem because people have their own wells in 90% of the town. You present a water bill to them on a separate item, they won't pass it. You gotta put it in ours, I believe.
Will it?
I don't wanna disagree with you always.
Well, I know what you're saying.
But the bottom line is that people are gonna say, why do I wanna pay
Why do
for
I
it?
have to pay for something that I don't get
I
any
don't
use
get
from?
any
That's
use
how
from
they,
But will it say user funded?
Yeah.
On the
Yeah,
warrant article?
I understand that, but they don't read it.
Yeah.
And I went by last year, and and I'm afraid we're gonna have it again this year. The sign out front says, if you don't know, vote no. And they don't understand, so they vote no because they don't understand what they're voting on, and they vote no.
My feeling is, this is part of maintenance, this is part of something that should
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
every other year.
There's some maintenance
annually, so
budget.
I think it should be part of the budget.
Yeah,
That's
I think it should be due, only because of the rural character of the town. I think we have to tell them that, I mean,
Yeah. I just think that our water rates are still excellent. They're still extremely low compared to most communities. I think that's something that, you know, as far as, I don't think we should pay it out of capital. I think capital should be something that, I just think that should be paid for.
when
That's
when
my
you're
opinion.
flushing a well and you're keeping it, you know, you're trying to, keep the pumps in order and the tanks and the screening and the whatever and whatever, that's maintenance.
It is.
That's maintenance, that's part of maintenance.
That's not
If-
part of like.
Replacing a well,
We need
right,
$300,000 to fix the tank or something like that.
Right.
That's my opinion.
right.
I mean, it's the same thing, we have to clean the inside of the tank every 3 years.
Yep, that's right, and that's part of
That
maintenance.
was $6,500
Sure.
a couple years ago.
Mhm.
We put it in and then we took it out for last year's budget.
Yep.
And we will put it back in.
And we'll put it back
What was the
in.
number again? I think I misheard the number then.
25,000.
Oh,
And
which line?
I thought there was another zero.
Which
down
Let
there.
me just ask,
I was 250, that's why I'm like, wait a minute, what are we talking about
let me ask you
here?
a question.
303,
If you put,
or 306.
so the tank, the big tank cleaning is in the maintenance part?
So we rotate that, that's why we wanna do it this year.
That was where I was going. The next year we do the tank,
We'll do
so you're,
the tank.
every other, got it.
So you try to cycle these things through, so your bigger items, and this just happened to be the year that there was no big maintenance items necessary. We're hoping to try to wash the outside of the tank, do some smaller
Yeah,
money things.
got it. All right. Yeah,
good thinking.
I mean, you could take a gamble with putting it in the budget and you can still get a default, or you could put it in a warrant article and still get it defeated.
Yeah,
And
like-
my thought is our warrant articles were closer than our budget was last year in the vote.
but the other problem is you
my
end
only
up with
scary part.
so
The
many
more,
warrant.
my opinion on warrant articles, the more you give them, the more they don't read. They really don't.
Yeah, they get frustrated about now.
Right,
It's like, well, I can't go wrong if I vote no, right? And
And
that's,
I only think, I get, I'm more pushing towards putting it in here, my only fear is if we make a budget that looks too high, they're just gonna vote no anyways. So
Yeah, but it says right in the water and the sewer that, you know, this budget is us, it's paid by the rate.
user fees.
User fees.
So we get those
It does
people,
say-
we get those people that still vote no in the sergeant fund, and that's money that's given to us, so.
I know, I don't understand it either.
It's a vicious circle.
You've got 150 people that are just gonna vote no, even if it's free money, so
Well,
I
you
don't know.
could, if you wanted to, split the difference and put half, you could do 12-5 and do.
It's
the-
maintenance.
The rest out of.
In my mind,
No,
it's
yeah,
maintenance.
I'm full either one way or the other, I don't think splitting would do good.
Yeah,
It needs to be done either way.
yep,
It's something that, honestly,
we gotta do it anyway.
it can't wait.
right,
It's, that pump needs to be pulled, that well needs to be cleaned.
yeah,
It can't wait.
all right. And you're talking which line, 305?
306.
306 would now be
Okay.
28,500.
Okay. Does someone want to make a motion in regards to that?
So, on line 306, the tank and well, make sure I get the number right. What's the number there again?
306. It's 28.5, including the 35 that's already there and the 25 to
So
do
the
the
total number
repair.
is what, 38?
28,500.
That's a jump. Well, I'll make a motion to accept the articles from 024331-101 and amending line item 024331-306 to 28,500, and then go on through to 024331-875 to show the total increase of that cleaning.
So the good thing is the next 2 years, that will go down.
Right, That's exactly right.
Because
I
it
mean,
won't be needed for the next 2 years, and then we'll clean one, and then the year after that, we'll clean 3 again.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes. Now on to sewer.
That's a stinky subject.
That's, number 17. Do we want any explanation on sewer?
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing for this. We do have one full-time employee that this department funds.
Yep.
And then Craig and myself also
Fill in.
fill in on the rest of the stuff. It's, I mean, you guys, most of you are familiar with it, but we have 8 pumping stations throughout town. A couple siphons, and I mean, there's, how many, you're better with numbers.
There's a lot to it.
There's miles of sewer line in town.
My one question is the generator that you had requested 2-3 years ago that still hasn't, huh?
Longer than that, I think.
Was it?
4 or 5 years ago, we tried, and what did you say? There was a warrant article because it was part of a grant or something, but
Yeah, I had reached out to Jean and she had said that it was on, the reason why it was on the warrant was because it was associated with a grant.
Okay.
And either the grant fell through or wasn't approved, and that's why we never purchased it, but she said, certainly if there's money in the budget, as long as the board gets approval, Craig gets approval by the board, he could buy the generator.
Okay, because,
even though it's 40 years old, we maintain it very well.
yeah,
It's still working okay. We have a capital reserve that if we really needed to replace it, we really could.
okay,
So it's not,
all right,
it's not kicking me, it's not
Okay.
kicking me.
all right. So in other words, if it all of a sudden dies, we have money in the capital to do that. Okay, that answers my question.
We'll keep limping it along
Limping?
as long as we can. You know,
But
we
we
spent a
also-
little money on
yeah.
it last year, but.
But we also do full services on all the generators every single year.
Well, that's what kind of, because I happened to drive by and I saw the generator people there and I'm thinking, you know, because again, that's one of those things that if it starts costing more to keep it going, then it's time to, you know.
And there's some we used to do every other year, but really, the expense isn't
Okay.
significant enough
Okay,
where I think the benefits outweigh that by servicing them every year, doing load tests on them every year. You know, I think,
Just as
I think there's nothing wrong with it. We can get a generator service and load test and everything for $295.
Yeah.
And they haven't gone up on the price in 4 or 5 years. So as long as that stays the same, I think we stick on the same path.
I got a bit of, I just got mine done today, it was $275. Question though, if the generator doesn't come on, all right, and there's, that's your question? If the generator doesn't come on, how long do we have till we have a problem?
We'll call it an SSO, a sanitary sewer overflow.
Uh-huh,
And we call a pump truck and have them pump and carry it, just like we do when
South Road,
South Road acts up.
Yeah.
Now, that station is nowhere near as critical as South Road, so we had a couple of days,
oh, okay,
you know.
all right, so it's not like hours,
No, it's a
Alright.
once a day pumping thing probably at
Okay.
that station.
We have some that are ours, but
I know,
we have the standby generator.
Yeah.
We have a portable, for a lot of them, we have a portable.
really,
So we have a trailer generator. When we had all these pump stations.
that were marginal, yeah,
They budgeted in a portable generator.
Okay.
So we have a huge tow line portable generator.
Quick question, who represents us for WRBP?
Alicia Gibson.
Is there any other towns that are getting sick of them just jamming money down our throats?
They all are, but,
Cause this is insane.
yeah. And
but we don't wanna own it either.
I know, if enough towns get sick of it, there's enough push there.
That's the problem is, you know, this is the state, so no one, I mean, the state's gonna do what they want and say what they want. Those numbers are big in numbers. I still don't have, 2 of those numbers, I don't think are correct, on my end, because the state's budget is not finalized yet, so we're waiting for all their estimates and their numbers.
So the state oversees WRBP?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, well,
They're part of
they own it.
DES, so Craig, isn't it DES, and the one Sauk River Basin is,
Mhm.
they are run by the state.
They would like the towns to own it.
WRBP is separate, there's DES and there's WRBP,
Yeah.
but the WRBP follows all DES rules and regulations.
True, but who sets their budget though? WRBP does or a state?
I think it's WRBP.
I think it's the state, cause Sharon works for DES.
I know, but WRBP is the state, right? And they're.
So left hand and right hand.
Yeah.
Exactly, so.
Yeah.
They have all the control.
I have a question, probably you don't have the answer, and if you do, that's wonderful.
Yeah, we pay DES on all those bills.
Is that who we pay?
Yeah. Cause, under, this line, it says postage, let me go up one more. Electric, and we got a line that says quarterly billing, to 25 default is 3,000, and lien notices. How many lien notices do we have out there right now?
I'm gonna tell you that our department doesn't deal with billing.
Yeah, that is.
I know that, but I wanna know that number.
That is Jen.
I want somebody to make a note of that, I wanna know how many lien notices we have on sewer collection.
But I believe when
I think we're
Jen,
pretty caught up.
I believe when I flush the toilet, I want it to go somewhere.
but I
It's
believe,
pretty hard to shut people off.
Yeah.
Right.
I can tell you we don't have any water liens, or we're working them down because we can turn them off.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't turn,
You can't turn off the
sewer.
Well, we gotta pass a law in this town that say if you ain't paying your sewer bill, we're gonna shut your water off.
I believe that's a state.
Well,
issue,
the
yeah.
problem.
But most of the sewer going in here
The
isn't
problem
public
with that
water.
is I have sewer, but I don't.
It's private
have
water going into public sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
have
about
been
a quarter.
responding to, we're leaning your property,
Jen's been pretty active with the liens as
Yeah.
far as those things go, and I think she's cleared a lot of them up.
yeah, and they're kinda commingled with the water and the sewer lien, so usually.
Well, it's great if they're both on the same, on town.
75%, John, don't have water, so we.
That's
can't-
right, I understand that. I understand, but I wanna know the lien number.
But I think, I'll be honest with you, I think most of the sewer users realize what a deal they're getting.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Wait.
right now in the town of Belmont, it costs you $400 just to pump your tank.
Well, I was just looking at this, I thought the sewer project for Silver Lake was paid off this year. And this is Silver Lake
2033.
2033.
So there was another one.
Cause I still pay on that bond, so my sewer bill is higher than,
Higher than others.
yeah.
What was paid off? I thought there was something that was gonna be paid off.
It's
It's not a water, was it a water thing?
yeah, hold on, it's on my
I think it was a water thing. I think it was.
It's in
Silver Lake?
Craig's. I think it's in Craig's, it's Silver Lake, hold on, let me find mine.
So does the village run off of Wimpsaki Basin and Silver Lake runs off a separate system?
No.
It's
No.
all goes to the
Okay.
WRBP.
So there was upgrades that were done in the Silver Lake area, I don't know, I can find it here in a second, so they had a special bond, and so those people in that area are the only ones paying off that bond for those upgrades that happened in that area.
Okay.
So that's why they have an
That was a
additional
long time.
$20 or $30 a quarter to pay off the bond.
I don't know, I can tell you how much my sewer bill is, and then you can tell me how much more it is than anyone else, but I don't know. It's $113.75 a quarter.
What a deal.
Yeah, it's probably like $50 then.
So it's the same amount per year, just have some, I mean, you don't have a leach field to deal with, you don't have anything to deal with, that's,
Yeah. All you need is one leach field to fail, and you would have wished that you were on,
yeah,
yeah.
20 more.
So
Yep.
the Pleasant Valley project was paid
That was-
off.
That was the one.
Is being paid off in, paid off in 25. The village water line replacement phase was paid off in 22. The water meter replacement project is being paid off in 24. The sewer pump station replacement, that was paid off in 23. Holy Road is till 26. The police station is till 2040. And then Silver Lake is 2033.
So each line item that has to do with the Winnipesaukee is increasing 15%.
That's why I asked that question.
Oh.
Doing 15%.
But you're not totally sure yet because the state hasn't done their
Right,
budget.
I'm still waiting for their budget
Okay.
numbers. We were hoping we're gonna get their debt schedule and their replacement costs, but Sharon said she she wasn't having it for us for this meeting the Thursday, so.
All right, okay. Let's start with 034321-101, right down to 034321-888. Does anyone have any further questions? I didn't even do that.
No, I'll make a motion to accept those.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Choice any-
But again, even though we're accepting this,
Yeah.
right, because it's going to change. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you do, because I know that
That's
there's been some late nights and stressful times.
28 years.
Sometimes it's discouraging to
Have
look at
just
stuff
as
when
thankless
stuff
jobs
comes
as we do.
Sewer fund, 28 years.
Well,
Because we've been paying on it since it went in 2000.
Matter what.
Because we were born in this town, we care about this town, so really, I mean, that's why we do it.
awesome. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much so.
So where do you want us to put the marker? That, you know, Craig was born here, and he
I
was
was
born
born
here.
right over there,
He was.
Lawrence School.
Yep.
Yep.
That was a cool house.
I love that.
That was a cool house.
This fucking thing at this rate.
How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Would you like to give us an overview?
I can give you an overview. So I provided you with the account descriptions and everything pretty much that summarized last year and this year. A lot of this year is really for the default budget, just status quo. The biggest change in everything is trying to extend our camp program from a 6 to 8 week program. So those expenses are inside there that are added in there.
So we've only run a 6, that's been kind of
It's been between 5 and 6 depending on
what the school, and so you really need 8 this coming year, is that what?
It's just, it makes it, you see all the parents scrambling for those last couple of weeks of summer, trying to find well, where do we get 2 weeks of care, and a lot of them end up on vacation, and those
Yeah.
are our taxpayers that
Yeah,
we need working, so.
sure, all right, makes sense.
And if you look, I did try to provide this chart, with an 8-week camp, it actually brings more money into the town to offset the revenue, so, because the expenses would be less, we'd be running it out of the mill building instead of out of the school. We'd be doing more localized trips and focusing on the younger group of kids that really do need to do the childcare, so.
Okay,
That is really the biggest increase, and everything else, really either decreased or stayed the same.
all right,
And-
Okay.
And just to add to, those extended ones that we would shift, those extended weeks that we would shift over to the mill, in Danielle's area already would be a more condensed number. So it would be those, let's just say, for number's sake, she has usually 100 kids. Maybe those last 2 weeks, she's only got 25 kids because of the capacity over the mill. It's really kind of like, hey, we're offering this at first come, first serve to help out the families. She does have the space, she could, right, is that where you're anticipating it? Host it for a couple of weeks here, just to help out some family members and still provide it.
a service,
Yep.
awesome, okay, all right. Let's just start with 014520-102, down to 014520-999.
I did zero out one of the park attendant position too. This year, we had a park attendant combined with a program coordinator, and it works a lot easier. I can keep them on year round for 5 hours a week versus trying to find somebody for 12 hours a week for 3 months a year. We had advertised it for 2 years, and finding somebody just wasn't working. And it's been nice having an extra set of hands if I need them for an event, or if I need somebody to be here for exercise class or anything like that. It helps having an extra
Sure,
person around.
all right.
In that budget, what's your maintenance for in that one? I didn't read the detail yet.
That is for everything for the park, so between lawn care and we have a $1,700 piece of equipment that needs to come to replace a slide in a couple weeks, and it's just, it's keeping
Damage.
status quo, it's not adding anything in, it's just keeping
Oh, the slide that somebody posted on Facebook, yeah, made remarks.
You said lawn care, that doesn't come under town maintenance?
Not for like the grass seed and stuff, we purchased that for the park for him, and like the toilet paper and stuff that we need for the park is for, and the beaches and stuff like that comes out of there.
Thank you.
If he had a tree,
If-
that came down, we
Yeah.
could probably take it out of maintenance, replace some swings
The
and
flag.
any equipment, the flag. Could be maintenance in the bathhouse if need be, that's over at the park, or fence.
Picking up trash. I know, that's part of me.
Bags.
All right.
No big projects, just to keeping up with what is already there.
Any questions from anyone?
I have a question.
Hmm?
Is the senior part of the Park and Recreation Department suspended indefinitely? Because there's nothing in here that I can see. Is
So.
the seniors, or did I?
I am adding in for, like, under community projects, and for the full community, not just for senior groups. Currently, with our attendance that we had at the senior groups, with so minimally being from Belmont itself, we were running a program for 5 people. We need something that can drag in other members of the community just as well, so keeping in track with keeping everybody for the community, something for them. So I
And
don't
that's-
know, did you get his charts?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was just looking at this, so I was wondering where does that fall
Yeah,
into?
that goes under, falls in the programs for general recreation programs. There's not like a separate budget line for.
That's in line 719, right?
Yep.
The rec program.
Yep. No, 718, no, yeah, just kidding, 719.
Oh, yeah, cause I see you said but for
Yeah.
senior/community, okay.
Yep. So like for our exercise classes, it's almost impossible to get an exercise instructor to come here for 3 or 4 people. They need enough people to make it, even the free ones, even Granite VNA and Franklin VNA, they need people here to do those programs. So to open it up just to seniors, I get 1 or 2 people and those programs won't come back.
Well, I'm just thinking about, the blood pressure clinics and the, flu shots and
Yep.
stuff. So I just wanna make sure that people who need them have,
We're still having them, aren't we?
Yep, that's, we can get those all set up, and partnership for public health is doing the flu clinic.
Can you help me read this real quick? So if I'm looking at January and I look to the right where it says programs, do we not know what's gonna be going on those days? Is that why it just says for senior/community?
Yes.
Okay,
So it would be like 1 day a week is pretty much what it would be for senior cross community, or slash community.
okay.
I know Friday you have a preschool.
Yeah, we're doing a toddler group, preschool play group and a toddler group on Fridays.
Do people call and?
They don't call and reserve, we've gotten a couple
Have you?
of calls of, are you having it, and
Yep.
we're hoping to
Awesome.
kind of roll out themes every week and have different things for them to do, they're going well in a lot of the communities, it's.
Good. All right. Okay, do we have any other questions?
I'll make a motion to accept the Parks and Recreation's budget of $176,760. No changes, right?
Yeah, there could be
Good.
changes with the medical.
Oh,
No, it's not even there. Take that back.
It's actually in my budget.
Yep,
so
that's
you
right.
could, essentially approve hers as is, if she's not going to foresee any changes between now and.
Okay, so you're
yeah,
fine.
Hers are good.
okay.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes. Belmont Town Beach, 0145211101 to 0145210506. Okay, Danielle, this is the beach.
So our, like, a lot of it is really just status quo.
Yep.
I went up a little bit, our lifeguards, we are having, I'm trying to keep them for later in the afternoon because that crowd that because anyway, the locals a little bit more are the later in the afternoon crowd, so being able to rotate them this year and keep them a little bit later definitely helps. For maintenance projects or equipment, the biggest thing is expanding our buoys. We had
You said buoys, is that what you said?
buoys,
Okay,
yeah.
I just want.
We wanna try to add in a second line of buoys. We have a lot of people that want to be able to swim out deeper, and our issue is that the lifeguards are responsible for anybody within their line of sight. And we have plenty of room within our permit to be able to go deeper, but having that line where it is also helps those younger kids have like a delineation of we should.
Yeah,
go
where it
further.
gets deep or
So
not, that
to-
makes sense.
To give some kind of area where kind of an adults only or an older kids that can swim and it's not bumping into water guns and stuff like that. So putting in, we have a couple of swimmers that go there for training and they would really like an extra set of lines. And it will help our lifeguards, not just, that is their biggest thing is come on, stay inside the lines and stay inside this. And,
Okay.
so other than that, there's really no maintenance projects or anything going on here. The rooftops on the gazebos are holding up so far so good and
I'm no lifeguard, so I just have a question. Having a second set of buoys outside of the first set of buoys, would that cause any interference with the lifeguard getting out there?
it shouldn't.
Okay.
No. There's a lot of beaches that will add the second set but keep the first set, especially like where we have summer camp down there too. Because I don't necessarily want my summer campers swimming out that far, but again, we did get the extended permit 2 years ago. So we're nowhere near where we could be as far as depth or width for our beach.
And obviously, the second set of, you can go beyond the second set of buoys. No, you stay
We
in,
stay within our permit, but
Right.
beyond the first set.
and that means that boats can't
They
come
keep
in.
boats
That's
there.
what I,
We'll still extend the line, the
Sure.
buoys, the
Okay.
big corner buoys will get extended out
All right.
there.
okay, awesome.
We
Cool.
did have some complaints about people swimming like to the far end of the buoys and their feet would touch, so,
And-
and that was in adults, so.
Yeah.
Them complaining they weren't able to swim.
And it is, I mean, especially on
If they
the
were really
water,
swimming, their
it
feet
gets
shouldn't be hitting
really-
the sand anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but,
People were very upset about it, but.
all right.
So,
Okay.
under beach maintenance,
Yep,
maintaining what? I said, it says here, buoy maintenance.
Buoy maintenance.
Buoy maintenance.
And
yeah,
expansion.
and the expansion, so
But-
getting the buoys, that would be anything that happens at the bathhouse, so like if we have a toilet clog or anything like that, having to call in anybody. And then the buoy expansion is like $400, it's really not that much.
Who puts them out?
At it.
Who rakes the beach?
That's under buildings and grounds budget.
And who puts the buoys
Fire
out?
department.
Fire department does, okay.
And Patrick, right?
And Patrick.
All right.
Whoever wants to go first, when?
Yeah.
The fire department puts them out, and then Patrick like maintains them all year, make sure they stay in the right spot.
Okay, 0145211101, 0145211506. Someone wanna make a motion
I'll make the motion to accept those lines
as presented?
as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes. Patriotic purposes. Oh, okay, 0145834453 to 0145849999. Patriotic purposes.
So, I decreased the Old Home Day budget, 1,500, hoping to expand the fundraising effort. The eventual hope in my mind is that it could eventually be doesn't cost on that line and offset kind of thing. We're not quite there yet because we don't have like committed donations every year from there, so I don't wanna 100% depend on it. But I think that we have enough people and our fundraising efforts enough that we could decrease it by $1,500 this year and then try to decrease it as the years go on. So that is why the decrease is there. I did not put this in those budget worksheets. But of that $4,500, I don't know if there's a way of getting it, so 500 of that itself could be devoted to the Old Home Day Good Citizen Award. Last year with the default budget, we were not allowed to do a scholarship program for the school because Old Home Day got taken out. And I think that really that should not necessarily be part of Old Home Day.
Yeah, but Old Home Day really didn't get taken out.
It didn't get taken out.
The fireworks got taken out,
Right, yeah.
Well, no, the funding did.
the funding
took
for
all
the
the funding
fireworks.
No, we took all the
We
funding
got
for
all
one day.
of
We
that.
took
Yeah,
all
we,
of
I
it.
wondered
But
if
you
you
still
wanted
had
to, I'm
quite a
asking
good
for money.
turnout at Old Home Day.
Yeah, we were able to get a lot of good donations, and that's, I'm hoping
Yeah.
that that same thing would happen, and then we could offset the revenue and just put it back into the sending revenue account. It's just a matter of knowing that we have the money there to start with.
So her suggestion is, in that donation, we usually have, in Old Home Day, contribution is the donation to the
Good citizen
Good
award.
Citizen, so making its own line, so that regardless if you funded Old Home Day or not, you would still be at least funding the Good Citizen Award. So
Which is a
that's-
scholarship.
Which is a scholarship to a nominated Belmont senior in recognition of their contribution to the town and their efforts, so that you would still be able to fund that scholarship program, whether you funded Old Home Day or not. And like she said, if you're gonna move to, hopefully, the hopes of Old Home Day being self-funded by volunteers and donations,
Which is what it was.
which was what it was at one point, and then the fundraising and the volunteerism has gone down to the wayside, at least you would still be able to do that donation.
Yeah,
I
much.
just don't see that coming
And that, I
back.
think, is $250 donations.
Yeah, that's, depending on how many people enter in or are nominated for the awards, we split it up either 200 and 300 or splitting between the things.
So the drone service, you haven't looked into that yet?
I haven't gotten a quote that's lower than fireworks yet, so that's,
Okay, I was just
I'm
wondering,
waiting for one to come in last, I mean.
have you seen a
I've
show
seen
put on by that?
I've seen a couple of the shows, they had one a couple years ago at OPG, and it was pretty cool, but they did it in sync with fireworks after, so I don't know how it would have been.
I'm more of a big fan of the boom booms.
On its own.
You're what?
I'm more of a fan of the boom booms. But the comment off of what Sharon just said, I agree with that it would be hard to get the funding to get the community to be more involved, but that's where we more or less gonna have to say to the community, if you want this to continue, you have to get more involved.
And that's,
We can't depend on the taxpayers to fund this every time. I mean,
And
Guilford
again-
does not fund their Old Home Day at all, and they have a 10 times bigger Old Home Day than we have.
Yeah, they're just huge.
Right.
And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a big lover of fireworks. I'm not. My poor animals. I'm more funded of my animal, or more fond of my animals than I am of the fireworks. And no matter what that firework price is, you've gotta remember, we have to clean up the mess. We as a town, we have to clean the mess up because the school is adamant about everything being put back the way it is. And it costs us a lot of time to clean that up.
The fire department's gotta be there.
The fire department's gotta
Police
be there, the police department's gotta be there, those are all, and that's all
they
overtime.
don't have to just be there
Can't
for
sell any
that
beer.
time, they have to be there for 12 hours after for the first watch in the morning. And
Right, they gotta be there in case one of those suckers start a fire, all right?
But that's also more why I think that, I mean, I see the town, I do agree that I do think the fireworks are a bigger part of Old Home Day than people realize until this year. So I have no issue with the town more or less funding that portion of the cleanups and stuff like that, but when it comes to the actual Old Home Day festival itself, that really, I think, should be donation driven, and if we can't get volunteers to happen, then it doesn't happen. I mean,
So what are you saying, we would then, if we don't get donations and it doesn't happen, we're still gonna spend the money and have fireworks, even though there's not the Old Home Day?
but
I
that's
think-
why,
I
I think
think
we
the
fund it,
fireworks-
that's different than not actually having, if they don't have the Old Home Day, then we don't have that. Like, if they can't get the volunteers to get together to do donations for that, then we have the budget and we just don't spend it.
Well, we don't draw from the outside particularly for the Old Home Day. We drew from the fireworks. It's like Ashland. Ashland draws people from
Hundreds of.
Everyone,
tons of people. I mean, 93 stopped to get in Ashland. And then that's a town budgeted program. We've had great fireworks and a lot of people came here from other towns to watch them. Gilmanden doesn't have them. They had one guy a couple years ago put it on, he donated like $5,000 and I don't know who he got, but it wasn't these people that do it for us, and they do a nice job. But then when you add the money to it, to the fire department and the police department, there's a lot more money.
Public Works, yeah.
But we can definitely pull more vendors, I think, and get more vendor fees
I think with
if we
the, I
have
think, I think with the
fireworks.
work you've done,
Slowly work those up, and I think they can get worked up again this year, I didn't wanna do a huge jump.
No, I mean, just having the fireworks in general, we're gonna pull more people in, which means we're gonna pull more vendors, because they know they're gonna get more money due to the fireworks going
Right.
on.
Yeah, that was a hard seller of, oh, you're not having fireworks, okay, we're not gonna set up, if we can't go at night, then we can't go during the day.
But then if you're having the fireworks, then you've gotta deal with vendors on the field, right, and all of that. Yeah, yeah. I personally could do without fireworks. I don't like them. I think they're an expense that we survived it this year. And if people wanna go to fireworks, go to the Weirs or wherever. You can hear them everywhere. Go over the lake every weekend if you wanna hear them. And again, you don't even know what that cost is gonna be yet.
Nope.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, anybody that talked to me and complained about not having the fireworks, they didn't even live in this town. But the taxpayers are paying for this, for everybody to come in, and then we're having to pay for the cleanup, we're having to pay for the fire, the policing and everything.
And even with the amount that we have in there, so.
We don't even know if this is an owl.
13,000, so we wouldn't be able to go to even what we would have had for a show the year before, that went up to 13,000 last year.
So why did
So
you
we're-
only put 9 instead of
Because
13?
Putting $13,000 for fireworks for one night for 10 minutes is insane. That is a lot of money for a 10-minute show.
And we may not even be able to get somebody for that price that you've got in there right now.
So, and I wasn't able to get the 9 last year, so, and
Oh.
that was almost double. When I first started 3 years ago, it was $5,000 in the fireworks line.
And you can't tell me that price is going
You
down.
could show based on your budget.
No, well, yeah, so we did $5,000, but they gave us a $10,000 show because we got the doubling. Now we're not getting the doubling
We
of
could
that
just
show.
get a smaller,
We're getting-
reduced, not as nice show that we have in the past, if you did approve a budget of 9,000.
How much were you able to pull last year for funding from the donations?
6320, I believe, is the final number. I can check the record, but I think it was 6320.
well, I'd vote to approve this budget, subject to waiting to see what she comes out with for the fireworks on that $7,500 number that she's got here.
It's 9.
And it
Well,
goes
it's
to
not- it's
9,000.
really 9,000.
Hold on, I'm getting there, don't
Yeah.
interrupt me.
Yeah,
You'll hear fireworks in a minute. And just put that on hold right now until we know what you're gonna tell us. I mean, if they come back and they say, we can do this, and that's the tip of the iceberg, as far as I'm concerned. Time we pay the fire department to clean it, and the highway department to go up there, and, and the aggravation with the school.
Well, I know if I tell them I want $9,000 worth of fireworks, they're gonna tell me exactly how many minutes and what shots they're gonna give me for that $9,000. If I tell
Well,
them we
then,
wanna
then
do
let us,
6,
let us know that, and then
They'll
we'll
do
make a decision.
6.
I think, everything else you got here, you've done a great job with your department, an absolute great job.
Thank you.
But the fireworks, and I was the one last year that brought up and said they wanna cut, we'll cut right here, and I thought they were gonna burn my house down. Oh, they weren't happy. Un-American.
So yeah, I'm good with.
And I don't like them, I don't go to them, I don't like the banging. I spent 18 months shooting people, and that, every time little things go off, I don't wanna
my
hear them.
brother's the same
Yeah,
way.
absolutely.
My
love
only,
that.
my thing is, I
full
am
month
good with the way
around
we're
that.
going, as long as we can continue going forward with trying to lower that old home day to nothing and letting it be donated, sharing funded.
And if we make a step, even if we did,
Yeah, every year make a bigger
Well,
step.
Well,
Make
that's
a-
what I think is that if I can secure more and more, like, obviously last year's were their first year, so if I can go to some of the
Yep, oh,
conditions and say, every year,
Again,
will you secure this?
you've
much?"
done a great job
Go down.
with the youth and your department, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
okay, did I already give these numbers? I can't remember.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
Yes, do you guys want to consider adding a line for the Good Citizen Award of $500?
And splitting that out of the, is that coming out of the 4,000?
I mean,
coming
I
out
would
of
do, I would do its own, it's just $500. Still, you already have a negative 8% increase, so,
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
but that's, I would say just increase it by 500 and leave the 45, but,
instead of adding a new line?
no,
No, adding a new
line
line,
Okay.
but add
of 500
to that
and
line.
not reduce your old home day, leave the old home day at 45 and add a new line of 500.
I'll make that motion.
Pretty much just securing that the scholarship program happens no matter what.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. So, but this one is still up in the air as far as what the donate, what the,
Well, not really, I mean, we tell the fireworks company, hey, this is our budget, can you be here on this day? And they say, fine, well, we can do that for that. So you guys really set the budget. I mean, we were always treated in the past, we gave the 6,500 and they gave us a $12,000 show. Now, because they've changed companies and hands, they're no longer doing that, you know, buy one, get one essentially, because they were in the community. So basically you get what you're paid for now, before that kickback of the extra half.
How early are we able to back out of the fireworks if we don't think Old Home Day is gonna happen?
They keep our gate pretty open for us and they have a lot of pyrotechnics. We have to secure, they don't do the permitting until June.
So they don't have any other, though, like, oh, you can't back out before, after this day, like, is it when they get the permitting probably?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's, once they get the permitting process, and that's when they send over the contract for us. and-
Okay, so there is another
Yep,
contract.
there is no
okay.
contract or nothing until they start that process, so.
And we haven't set a rain date in the past, so it either just happens or it doesn't.
Yeah.
They're kind of just gonna count to your fee.
No.
They just like to get their calendar set
So-
earlier in the year, because it's a busy time of year with multiple towns doing Old Home Day around the same weekend.
And that's our hard part about going to other companies, because other companies are all tied up to those others, and the smaller companies are in those smaller towns, and it's.
did someone make a, did we make a?
Yeah, we already voted on it too. We already voted on everything.
You already adjourned?
No, talking about making the
That's what
motion.
she's saying,
Oh,
right?
the
No,
adjournment?
did we make the motion? We made the motion on this.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, we just needed a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
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 I'm leaving my stuff here though, okay? Thank
I
you.
gotta go work.
Did you ladies wanna vote on the adjournment?
No, they're
You wanna
going.
adjourn with us?
Adjourning.
They've adjourned.
We want to vote on the adjournment.
Adjournment.
John. So, I talked to Steve this weekend.
You have your time to vote in March.
He did
Thank
not
you.
have an FCC because he was not required to, so a few months after. And then he asked why. I kind of told him a little bit. He said he's dealt with them 1,000 times. I'm with Lynch. He
We're still
definitely,
recording.
sorry.
that.
Definitely thinks they're